Hey everyone, my name is Brian Nguyen and I'm the founder of a restaurant concept called Be Nutritious. We are a healthy food concept, and yeah, this is my first YouTube video. I don't really have a niche of what I'm going to be talking about, but it'll most likely be related to things that I love and enjoy in my life. So most likely food, fitness, business, and sometimes car stuff. There's not going to be any specific guideline on what I'm going to do, but I just wanted to do a channel to kind of just document my life, and it'd be something cool to look back later in time. But just to tell you a little bit about myself, I am culturally Vietnamese, ethnically Chinese. My parents were born in Vietnam, but we are Chinese people. I grew up in California. I was born in Boston, and pretty much raised in California. Immigrant mentality, and I've been in the restaurant industry for 8 years now. I didn't always start off in the restaurant space. I started off actually in insurance after college, got into the restaurant space because I got into fitness. And that's why I started this brand, was because I was overweight and I lost weight eating this type of food. I used to be 240 pounds and I looked like this. And then, I got into fitness, did cardio, weights, eating healthy, the whole 9 yards. And then I actually did a show and I got to look like this. So I have a little bit of a good amount of knowledge about fitness and how to lose weight and how to get in shape. The formula is very easy, it's very simple. You go on a calorie deficit, you work out, and the pounds are shed off. There's a lot I wanted to share of the behind the scenes of operating a restaurant, the systems that we have in place, healthy recipes that I have come up with that I wanted to share with you guys. It's food that you can make from home, of course, but you can definitely order from my restaurant too. There's so much things and of value that I can share with you guys, being a entrepreneur or a small business owner. Especially with social media nowadays, everyone highlights or shows all the highlights, but they never show the lows. And I think it's important to be genuine, especially now, because everyone sees all the highlights of being an entrepreneur, and I feel like it's so misled, right? I've been through a lot of lows, I've been through a lot of highs, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. And to tell you a little bit about my brand, I started my concept in 2014, actually out of my mom's house. And that was like the internet age where social media was really, really, cracking. And I started off with a few orders, made a post, had a friend make a post, and we were selling meals, from my first order being like 30 meals, and then it jumped to, like, after a few months it was like 1,000 meals a week. It was nuts, and that was definitely a high. But anyways, I started in 2014 from mom's house, had friends helping me out, put meals together. I'd go deliver. It was really fun. It was actually a really, really good time. And I eventually transitioned into a legit business, and I got myself a restaurant. I didn't intend to get into the restaurant space. Initially, I just wanted to do meal prep, and then I somehow got into the restaurant and meal prep. But I think the reason why I did it was because there was no other concept that was doing healthy food and meal prep on one. So that worked out for me. 2015, I opened up my first location, and then I opened up my second location a year and a half later. And just after that, a few years later, I had it was 2000, up to 2020. So I had up to 2020, I ended up selling one of my first location because to a manager of mine, and because I wanted to focus on franchising. And that's where I kind of wanted to share the highs and lows of franchising. It's been a really, really hard journey with franchising. To give you a little brief history, I started franchising in 2000 and I think it was 18 or 19, 2019, just to realize that, I'm sorry, 2018, just to realize that I wasn't ready to franchise. What happened was I signed up with a franchise consulting firm who, initially what they delivered was a FDD, which is a franchise disclosure document, and an operations manual. And they charged $40,000 to do that. And at the time, I was like, oh wow, $40,000, that's cheap just to franchise, and I can sell a lot of locations, make a lot of money. That was my mindset. I always had a big dream and big goals in mind, and I still do. But there was definitely a lot of lows that have knocked me down to, get me in a pessimistic mode sometimes. But I gotta, knock myself out of it. So what happened was I signed up with this firm, and I paid them $40,000, and they delivered those two items, the FDD and the operations manual. And it, yes, they completed the contract, but it was very cookie cutter. What they did was they pretty much copied and pasted the names of businesses in those documents, and they never even stepped foot inside the restaurant to help me, to see our systems or to build a operations manual. And so I was like, you know what, forget it. We already did it. Let's move forward with it. Let's try to sell franchises. And I didn't realize that I wasn't ready for it. I went to a franchise trade expo or a franchise expo, had a booth, set it all up. We had so many inquiries because our concept was cool. It was a really cool brand. We have really good branding, and we got a lot of inquiries. But I had some real professionals over there ask me, hey, do you guys have these systems in place for this, and that? And I just said, no, I don't. And then this guy, he's like, well, no one's going to take you seriously because you don't have everything you don't have all your systems in place. So if a potential investor or franchisee comes in and they look under the hood, meaning your systems, and you don't have that in place, they're most likely not going to move forward with you. So I stepped back from franchising, right, after getting all those leads. And once, we had like 40 or 50 leads that came in the pipeline, once we announced that we're going to franchise. And just to tell them that, hey, you know what, we're not ready to move forward yet. So I ended up signing with another consulting firm who helped me build systems in place. And what they did was, once they built the systems in place, it took about 9 months to a year to get those systems in place. So, it's definitely worth the money. Now we have, fully functional systems at our restaurant and for our franchisees. So yeah, after 2019, at the end of 2019, our systems are ready to go. We're ready to go franchising, and boom, COVID hits. I'm sure it worked in favor for some concepts, but for us, I don't know, it didn't. But we were very fortunate enough to sell one franchise. And with that one franchise, it was actually in Boston, which is in the East Coast of us, way across the country. And they were technically our second franchisee, because I sold my original one as a franchise. But they were the second location, and they opened up in Boston. And that was also a nightmare. Not the franchisee, but what happened, getting that store up and running. It was very unfortunate. We had it was delay after delay after delay, and what happened was we ended up choosing a contractor, and that contractor was pretty much the contractor from hell. It was a project that was supposed to be 3-4 months, 6 months tops, ended up being over a year. And it was very unfortunate for my franchisees that had to pay rent, which was almost $10,000 a month for up to a year. So it was you know, before they even started, they're 100 grand deep already paying rent, and you know, they had a really, you know, anyways, they got to open in 2022 of September, and now we're in 2024 of January. They unfortunately had to shut down December of 2023. It was, you know, it hit me really hard. You know, I felt like a failure. I felt like I failed my franchisees. I felt like I failed my, you know, my manager that works here, that is helping me with the franchise stuff also. It's a lot, you know. You invest all this money into franchising and it doesn't work out. It's not, you know, it's not money wasted, but it's definitely a huge investment that I took. You know, just developing the franchise systems was, you know, about $100,000. Getting ready to franchise, another, you know, the initial $40,000 that I spent. There's a lot of lawyer fees involved. It's a lot. You know, there's a lot that I didn't know about franchising before even getting into it. But you know, the store closing really, it hit home. Like it hit me hard. It kind of just put me in a different mood. That affected my personal life. I think definitely affected my finances. But you know what? I don't want to quit on franchising because I just put so much money and effort into it and time. And I know that I have a really cool concept. I know that I have a really cool brand. I've been in, this is my life. This is all I do. This is all I think about, right? Obviously, you know, my family is my number one, but this is, Be Nutritious is a part of my life, right? Even on my days off, I'm thinking about work. So some of you entrepreneurs, small business owners will understand exactly how our brains function. So yeah, just, you know, this whole franchising journey has been really hard. So my focus for 2024 is I want to just, you know, document the process of my entrepreneurial restaurateur path, and you know, I'm gonna, there's the lows, the highs, I'm gonna show it all. And yeah, so my focus this year is to put out YouTube content, hopefully, or I'm gonna dedicate myself to once a week. I am going to focus on focus on growing the restaurant sales, right? That's my priority focus this year, is get our sales up. And then 2025, we're gonna hit back franchising 100%. So yeah, that's just a little bit. This is my first video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You know, it's just like what everybody says. I hope you like and subscribe. And yeah,